There's the Chinese woman who had the massage parlor, who was an agent of the Chinese government, who was hanging out there for weeks. There's and was contributing.
Okay, you're up. Give me 1 second to get my
billionaire money into Trump's campaign or into his pockets. There was the Ukrainian woman who was an agent of the Russian intelligence service who was golfing with Donald Trump and staying there. I mean, this is scary stuff, Congressman.
It is, and it goes to the heart of our national security. And if there was any Democrat who had done 1/10 of these things, the Republicans would have been accusing them of everything in the kitchen sink. But
WCPT-820 is proud to introduce Heartland Signal, a multimedia newsroom of WCPT-820. Heartland Signal is dedicated to providing news coverage for the 2022 midterms in the Midwest region. At heartlandsignal.com, you can find all the day's news and views to keep you informed and up to date. If you love listening to WCPT-820, then you'll love getting.
Okay.
Signal.com. Visit us there today.
I should be.
1 second. I'm sending Mike through.
Nearly 1 in 5 U.S. households.
I am up.
Serious illnesses.
Okay, got everyone both on the board. So let me see if everyone's on Facebook.
Okay, Mike, can you hear me?
On track with your health care.
I can. Good morning.
It's great hearing your voice, Mike.
No substitute for a visit.
Well, it's great to hear you. How was the birthday? How was everything?
Oh, bless your heart. It was wonderful.
To give you the screenings, vaccines,
Thank
and
you.
even
It was wonderful. Thank you for asking. He's 81. Lord have mercy.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I can hear you both on Facebook.
Wonderful. Thank you for asking. You're always so sweet. I hope that your family's well.
Oh, thank you. You're the best. Well, I hope you, the stars, and Deb all have a wonderful Monday show to kick this butt week.
Oh, bless your heart. We're working on it.
I gotta run to the room, Santita. I'll be right back really quick.
Okay, no worries, no worries.
After an attack on a bridge,
Have a great morning. All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for helping us out.
You got it, Miss Jackson. Bye.
Launched dozens of missiles and Iranian-built drones against Ukraine. The General Staff of the Ukraine Armed Forces adding 75 missiles were fired, with 41 of them neutralized by air defenses. In his video address, Zelensky says the targets were civilian areas.
All right, I'm back, Santita.
Okay.
The Russians had chosen targets on purpose to inflict the most damage. The morning strikes sent Kyiv residents back into bomb shelters for the first time in months. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
North Korean state media says the North's recent missile tests were a response to naval drills between the U.S. and South Korean forces. North Korea says it's sending a warning to its enemies with those missile tests. More and more active duty U.S. military service members are killing themselves. The AP's Julie Walker.
Rising suicide rates among active service members have forced the Pentagon to review the military's mental health protocols. Many service members fear coming forward, and those who do find themselves fighting through stigma, bureaucratic obstacles, and internal pressure to stay on the job. The Pentagon has created an independent committee to review programs. At the same time, a network of military-adjacent charitable organizations has tried to fill the gaps with a variety of programs and outreach efforts.
The Nobel Prize in Economics goes to Ben Bernanke, Douglas Diamond, and Philip Dybvig for research on banks and financial crises. This is AP News. Now to China and COVID.
Several Chinese cities are imposing new lockdowns and travel restrictions. Chinese authorities say the number of new daily COVID-19 cases tripled during a week-long holiday. State broadcaster CCTV reports the latest lockdown was imposed today in the northern city of Fenyang after a preliminary positive case was found in citywide testing the day before. The capital of the nearby Inner Mongolia region says outside vehicles and passengers are prohibited from entering the city starting Tuesday. China is one of the few places in the world still imposing harsh measures to keep COVID-19 from spreading. I'm Jonna Warder.
The price of gas is up 12 cents in a week, says the AAA. It's $3.92 a gallon this morning. A year ago, gas was $3.26. I'm Rita Foley, AP News.
This is 8:20 a.m. WCPT Willow Springs and streaming worldwide at WCPT820.com. We are Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter. Now, your WCPT 820 Chicago traffic update.
In downtown Chicago, there's more congestion than usual right now on the inbound Kennedy Expressway. It's heavy. Chicago Avenue to Randolph. More drivers are exiting at the downtown exits because the Ohio feeder is closed for shooting investigation due to an incident which happened around 2:30 this morning. Orleans is also blocked in both directions between Grand Avenue and Ontario. It's 22 minutes O'Hare to downtown, outbound 24 minutes with heavy traffic on westbound 190 going into the airport. The other major trouble spot is eastbound 8094 with roadwork delays, Burnham Avenue to Kennedy Avenue, and the entrance ramps from Calumet, Indianapolis Boulevard, and Kennedy are all closed for construction until Sunday the 16th. I'm Jim Talamonte.
Remember when you get to work to hop over to WCPT820.com or the TuneIn Radio app and stream The Stephanie Miller Show. Weekdays 8 to 11 a.m. on Chicago's Progressive Talk, where facts matter.
For years, the special interests got whatever they wanted in Washington, and Americans paid the price. That all changes right now, because Congress just passed the Inflation Reduction Act, and President Biden signed it into law. Here's what that means for you. First, Medicare can now finally negotiate lower prices for prescription drugs. Drugs like insulin will cost a fraction of what they do today. The days of drug companies price gouging seniors are over. Second, it builds on the Affordable Care Act to lower healthcare premiums for 13 million Americans. And third, this bill includes the largest investment ever to take on climate change. Clean energy production will ramp up, dependence for fossil fuels will come way down, and new jobs will be created. The entire bill is paid for by making the biggest corporations and the ultra-wealthy pay their fair share, saving Americans money today, saving the planet for future generations tomorrow. Learn more at whitehouse.gov. Paid for by House Majority Forward.
Corey and Zach lingered in foster care for years, longing for a permanent place to call home. They lost hope.
I felt alone in the world. I didn't feel loved. Every day felt like a lost cause. I thought, who would want to adopt an older child?
I thought, I'm going to end up on the streets. That's just how it's going to be.
Thankfully, Corey and Zach's journey changed when they were adopted with help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption.
It's really difficult to wonder how you're going to make it. I'm not going to have that problem now. I just won't, because I have a family.
Today, Corey and Zach have bright futures. But every year, thousands of youth age out of foster care with no permanent family and no safety net. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Hi, I'm Marcel. All right, we're coming up in 60. Santita, do you need more time?
It's a tough job, one made just a bit safer with the help of America's brave military dogs. These dogs, who often take the same risks and make the same sacrifices as our human warriors, keep our troops safe by sniffing out bombs and IEDs, locating enemy positions, and bringing a sense of comfort and home to an almost unimaginable circumstance. Yet, when these brave K9 heroes retire, they're not always given the same treatment as our military VIPs, and are too often left overseas. American Humane works to bring home these valiant dogs and reunite them with the people who mean the most to them, their handlers, so they can enjoy happy, healthy, well-deserved retirements. To learn how you can help America's four-footed heroes, visit
10 seconds.
Okay. Thank you.
WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk, where facts matter.
We can change the world, change the world, change the world. Oh, yes, we can. We can change the world, we can change the world, change the world.
This is the Santita Jackson Show.
War and hate to a place of love, it's not too late. Gotta save the children, we can't wait. Let's change the world. I am breathing.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Santita Jackson Show. Santita Jackson Show. It is Monday, October 10th, 2022. I'm Santita Jackson. It's great to be with you today. Hope you had a marvelous weekend. I want to thank so many of you for birthday wishes that you extended to my father, to our father, Reverend Jesse Jackson. He turned 81 unbelievably on Saturday. We had a wonderful time all weekend long. Thank you so much for all of the love. Hope that you'll be joining us on Tuesday at the Rainbow Push headquarters as we give you Greg Palast. He will be in town to debut his movie here in Chicago, Vigilante, as we look at voter oppression in Georgia, but it has applications all over the country. Indeed, I was talking with State Senator Lena Turner from Wisconsin. She said he needs to do something here on Milwaukee. Think about Louisville, Kentucky. They had one polling place, one precinct open for 660,000 voters back in 2018 when Charles Booker was running. Just shameful. Voter suppression is real. It's happening all over America, not just in the South. It's happening everywhere. In Maine, it's happening everywhere. So please come on over to Rainbow Push at 930 East 50th Street at 5 p.m. We're going to show the film around 6, just after 6. Want you all to get there. We're going to have some food and some snacks, shall I say. Nice little healthy, filling snacks, and want to have you there. Please go to our website. Let us know that you're coming because we want to get a pretty accurate sense of how many people are going to be there. Okay, so please, 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 and call us at the station so that you can get more information about it. It will be at 930 East 50th Street tomorrow night. And then we're going to be celebrating Reverend Jackson's birthday at Fellowship Missionary Baptist Church on Friday night. I hope you'll join us there too. I think I might even sing. It's going to be a great, great, great celebration. Thank you, Pastor Sharp and First Lady Bree Sharp. All right, everybody, let's get to it. It is Columbus Day. Got to talk about that for the good news. Got to talk about that. It's Indigenous Peoples Day. It has been renamed. What do you think about that? Call me at 773-763-9278, 773-763-WCPT. Let's talk about that. And then we're going to talk about the latest in Ukraine. It's costing you at least $200. Every American, man, woman, and child, $200 thus far. You haven't even been asked permission. So we need to know what's going on over there and when this will end. Will there be peace talks? Increasingly, people are saying, no, that doesn't look likely. But that means you're going to be spending more money. What do you think about that? Then we will be talking about what's happening with Hurricane Ian in Florida. It seems that the relief is not being evenly distributed. When we look at what's been happening in Sanibel Island, and indeed that is where the corporate media have focused. Sanibel Island is like Fisher Island in Miami. It's a very wealthy, it's an affluent community. And, and of course, it's tragic what's happened to them. But what about people who are not affluent? I mean, the people who work hard for us every day, people who've been locked out of the economy and on and on and on. They are struggling. They're saying this is another Hurricane Katrina for us. And they are Black, they are brown, and they are low income. And they are restless, as Reverend Jackson said in 1984 in his Democratic presidential speech, and they seek relief. So we're going to be talking with Hilton Kelly, who's the recipient of the Goldman Prize, which is the Green Nobel. He focuses on issues just like that. And then, of course, we're going to have Rick Smith. Of course, he is on WCPT from 8 to 10 every weeknight, as he and I will be hosting Greg Palast at Rainbow Push. Can't wait to talk with him and with Attorney Darrell Jones. He and Attorney Barbara Arnwine will be showing up at Rainbow Push today. They are on a whistle-stop tour, getting people out to vote. Meet us over there at 10 o'clock today. It's going to be a good time. And then we'll be talking about vigilante and voter suppression, of course, at 7:30. So let's get right to it, everybody. In Chicago, we're going to have a high of 70 degrees, partly cloudy. Minneapolis, St. Paul, 71 degrees, sunny. The wild card series, wow. Whew. These two game series that determine whether these wild card teams will move forward. Well, Seattle 10, the Blue Jays 9, and Cleveland closed out their series, winning over Tampa Bay 1-0. And then the series is tied between the Mets and the Padres. The Mets 7 and the Padres 3. Chicago and Minneapolis faced off, and the Vikings were triumphant, 29-22, just one touchdown away over the Chicago Bears. Heartbreaking, everybody. In a huge blow to Vladimir Putin to Russia. An explosion destroyed part of a bridge linking Russia to Crimea. Well, it seems that they paid back this morning. Russian forces launched a wide-ranging attack on Ukraine today, bombarding at least 10 cities, everybody, including the nation's capital, Kiev. in an assault seen as a retaliation for that explosion over the weekend that damaged a key bridge linking Russia with Crimea. In a video released Sunday, Russian President Vladimir Putin called the deadly blast on the 12-mile strategic bridge an act of terrorism, as he put it, quote, aimed at destroying critically important civilian infrastructure. This was devised, carried out, and ordered by the Ukrainian Special Services, he said. Where do you think all of this is going, everybody? Where do you think all of this is going? Call me at 773-763-9278, 773-763-WCPT. A landslide in Venezuela on Sunday killed at least 25 people and left more than 50 missing in the north central state of Aragua. But landslide came down in the Santos Miquelina municipality after days of heavy rainfall caused the 5 streams of the Las Taharias River to overflow, according to officials. This is serious, everybody. With all this water that we've got, what's going to happen in Florida? What will happen in Florida? It's something that we need to look at, everybody. Call me at 773-763-9278, 773-763-9278. Climate change is real, and the impact can be devastating. They're calling this straight up fraud. Insurance giants are exploiting Medicare Advantage, a corporate managed program that threatens to result in the complete privatization of traditional Medicare to capture billions of dollars in extra profits, according to New York Times reporting. Medicare Advantage shouldn't exist, and that is what many are saying. The newspaper's analysis of dozens of lawsuits, according to the Inspector General's reports, and watchdog investigations found that overbilling by Medicare Advantage providers is so pervasive, it exceeds the budgets of entire federal agencies, prompting journalist Ryan Cooper to call the program a straight-up fraud scheme. What do you think about that, everybody? They've been seeking to privatize this for the longest time, because there's a lot of money in it. Wall Street can't wait to get their hands on that money. What do you think about that, everybody? Call me at 773-763-9278, 773-763-9278. I have a quick word for you today. A quick word on, and that'll be good news. Today is Columbus Day. At least that's what we traditionally celebrated it as all throughout my childhood and into my adulthood. But something has changed. Something has shifted in America. Something has shifted in the world. And this move has shifted to us really declaring this Indigenous Peoples Day. Because indeed, how can you discover a place where people already exist, where people already live, where people have a culture? Some people have pushed back against this because many people, particularly in the Italian American community, say, hey, you're insulting Christopher Columbus. I mean, this is a hero of ours, and he should be a hero of yours. And I understand their hurt feelings, but I hope that they will not vest their self-esteem. I hope that they will not vest their feelings so deeply in what is not true. You can't discover people who are already here. And the fact is, he never even got to the United States. Ever, ever, ever. He went to the Caribbean and he was lost. And he thought he was in India. That's why he called First Nations people, Indigenous peoples, Indians. So you have an explorer who was lost, which is a contradiction in and of itself. He never got to the United States. No, it is Indigenous Peoples Day. That is good news. It is good news to see that the moral arc of the universe does bend toward justice, that we are beginning to see Indigenous peoples get justice. It's just the beginning, everybody. When almost half of the Oklahoma Territory, the state of Oklahoma, the Supreme Court, a conservative Supreme Court, had to say, look, almost half of this land, because of a treaty that we signed with these Indigenous people, belongs to them. Now, has there been pushback? Yes. The struggle continues, but if you continue with the struggle, victory is certain. That is the other part of that phrase. So you must always fight, 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 fight. Remember, the price of liberty requires our eternal vigilance. But always know that if you stay in the fight, you will win. But if you never enter the fight, you are guaranteed to lose. So my hat is tipped off to the Indigenous people because, indeed, they're teaching us about justice. They deserve this. We deserve this. We deserve a fair and just understanding of what this day really is about. It is Indigenous Peoples Day. This is a time when European powers came to them not to be friendly, but to conquer them. And now look, we have people who speak Spanish who are indeed indigenous, who are at the borders, who are seeking to come home. Wow. You can't make this stuff up, everybody. That's the good news. The other part of this good news is that even as you seek justice, you must be just. You cannot do unto others as has been done unto you. You can't be unkind. You can't be cruel. That's not right. We have to go another way. So, happy Indigenous Peoples Day, everybody. God bless you. Dr. Shanita Knighton, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, it's great hearing your voice. Great hearing your voice. Talk to me as we look at we're seeing a rollout of a lot of vaccines, and we're seeing the rollout of COVID boosters. And then on top of that, we see the flu vaccines. And I heard a commercial this morning, and then behind that, a news report where people were questioning, can you take multiple vaccines at once? You know, like, or even can you do that?
So people can, but I was going to say that's definitely going to be a question for their providers.
Okay. So they should ask their providers what's best.
Yeah, but
Okay.
yeah, to me, it's not the same as, let's say, getting your childhood vaccinations, right? So it does differ. And as of right now, they're not showing any contraindications. However, I would still, for me, I'm following the advice that I saw early on in the pandemic when the COVID-19 vaccine was released. And it was just the fact that they didn't want you to get vaccines within 14 days of each other. So for me, personally, I'm deciding that based off of the vaccination schedule, if my family members ask for my non-medical opinion advice, I'm telling them to wait. If they get both, then to space them out, opposed to getting them both at the same time. And no, flu vaccine will not protect you from COVID. The COVID vaccine will not protect you from flu. But if it was my recommendation, then my recommendation would be to not put them both together.
Well, you know, I'm asking you these questions. Of course, I know that you are an infection preventionist, you're a registered nurse, you're a research scientist, because many of us do not know that we can advocate for ourselves with our physicians and within the medical establishment that we should, and we don't know how, Dr. Knighton. I mean, your great nephew was very, very fortunate because, I mean, you're one of the top people in your field, one of the top people in the world of research science. I mean, that's the space that you occupy. But most of us walk into it very green. We don't know that we have the right and we have the obligation to advocate for ourselves, to ask questions, and we don't know the questions to ask.
So I'll understand the aspect of not knowing the questions to ask. So I would tell anyone that that's understandable, right? But I will say, even before I was even in healthcare and even as a young adult, I still advocated for myself because I realized I only get one body. And so we have to change the narrative of feeling like our provider is going to give us everything that we need. And right now, that is the issue. The issue is that we're too dependent upon someone to tell us what we should be doing for our very own bodies, opposed to us telling them what it is we're trying to accomplish for our bodies. And I think that is a completely different conversation to have when you're talking about your own health. You only get one body. And so for me, in understanding I only get that one body, I get one chance to get it right. For example, if someone has to have surgery, that surgery has to go okay in order for you to be okay. So if you're not asking the questions, even the ones that you don't know, or even asking your provider, what should I know? And then getting more than one trusted opinion and finding a healthcare advocate, even if they aren't in your family, to me, that's being more safe than sorry and not putting everything into one person's hands, assuming that they're going to take care of your life. So I just want to emphasize all the time, and I know I say this, but it's very important for us to be the CEO of our own health and make sure that we're aware of what's going on with our health and not assume that others are going to know how to best take care of us. No one's there with us when we're eating. And I'm saying, like, yeah, you got your kids and your husband that might be there, but every time you put something inside of your face, that no one's there every single time. No one knows what your elimination process looks like. No one knows your exercise habits. No one knows your mental health. You know that better than anyone else. And the minute that you expect someone to know that more than you and to care for you with having limited information, then at that point you have to understand that, yes, just as you feel compromised in giving them your care, you feel compromised because you're not aware that they don't understand everything about your health. So if anything, I always continue to advocate and say to people, be the CEO of your own health. Nobody should tell you better about anything than yourself. A lab? Absolutely yes. We can't do labs on ourselves. So, okay, a doctor should be able to help you to tell part of the story by doing that. But outside of that, you essentially have to be able to say, I know what's going on with my body and this is why.
Do you have the right to turn down medicine if you're conscious in the hospital?
You do. You have a right to turn down medicine in the hospital. You have a right to ask for explanation around certain medications. You have a right to ask someone, can you show me the science that shows that this is the best option for me? You have a lot of rights. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to tell you that there's not going to be pushback. I've been that patient where there's been pushback. But again, it's your body. So do you care more about their attitude or do you care more about switching providers because you need accurate answers?
We're talking with Dr. Shanina Knighton about your rights, really, as a patient and your obligations. She says that you need to be the CEO of your own health. I know that's a heavy lift, everybody, but you should be the CEO of your own health. You're in charge, or your loved one is in charge, and you need to know that you have the right to question your healthcare providers, and you have the right to ask questions about that which they are giving you. I mean, I saw my mother turn down a medicine when we were in the hospital once, and I was like alarmed. I'm like, Mom, they said, she said, I know my body. She said, and you better know yours. Boom. How about that? How about mic drop on that? This was just about 7 or 8 years ago. She said, you better know your own body. She said, and that was 7 or 8 years ago, and she's doing just fine.
Yep, see, she just said what I can't say or what I'm not going to say to people, but that's exactly it. I ain't got to do nothing. I know my body. And it's understanding that's your insurance, that's your care, that's your right, that's your understanding. And you have to remember, providers, even with me being a nurse, we are a part of your care team.
And your care team works for you, right? The care team works for the patient. Okay.
For your health and for your betterment. And I'll say that because, for example, if you were a patient in the hospital and let's say, for example, you don't have a refrigerator, but it's your first time on excellence, it's your time to speak up for yourself and say, like, hey, I don't have a refrigerator at home. I need an option that doesn't require refrigeration.
Okay. Thank you for that.
So that's what I mean when I say somebody can give you treatment and it may not necessarily be the best treatment for your situation.
Dr. Shanina Knighton, everybody. Dr. Shanina Knighton. Hey, Dr. Nina. Hey, Dr. Nina. That is her handle in social media. You need to follow her. Everybody follow her. Hey, Dr. Nina, so that you can get some great advice and learn how to become the CEO of your own health. Learn how to take care of yourself. That is one of the things that we should have learned and that we should be learning while we are in this pandemic. No one is going to save you for you but you. That's real. Dr. Janine and I just love you so much. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day to you and to your family. And thank God for all of the great work that you are doing. Blessings to you, everybody. Yes, coming up, they're bombing away in Ukraine. What's going on, everybody? What is next? We're going to be talking with Professor David Gibbs, Dr. David Gibbs from the University of Arizona, and Bryce Green from Fairness and Accuracy in Reporting. Let's talk about it, because this war is costing you, Americans, $200 and counting. $200 and counting. More than $67 billion we have already spent. Wow. Can you afford to spend $200 just, and you don't know where it's going? Back with more of the Santita Jackson Show. And then, of course, Vigilante at Rainbow Push on Tuesday. Meet us over there at 5 o'clock. You'll see Greg Palast. You can buy his books. You can buy his documentaries. You can get autographs. We're going to have a conversation before he shows his film Vigilante and after. But you got to be there. Going to get some sneaky snacks. Let us know if you're coming, because we can have enough food for you. Back with more of the Santita Jackson Show in just a few minutes. Dr. Knighton?
I'm here.
How are you?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Oh, honey, I'm doing great. Just, you know me, I'm in the midst. Just in the midst. That's, in between all of this. Okay. All right, just that. Okay. There we go. All right. I am always preparing for the next segment. Okay, so there's that. So there's that. There's this. There's this. And there's that. Okay. Oh, that's what I need. Sorry, hon. I'm trying to. Everybody call me at 773-763-9278. Yep. Just trying to pull these pieces together. Oh, my goodness, honey. I'm just doing all this stuff. I am not complaining. Just I've got a lot that I'm pulling. Okay.
Sending Dr. David Gibbs, Chaparral, and Bryce Green through.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. Hi, Chaparral.
Good morning.
How's it going?
It's going great. Did you get my text?
No. I wasn't looking. What's going on? You want me to look at it now?
You're actually in the stream. Yeah, I mean, it'll better explain it to you.
I don't understand. I'm doing it from Keep Hope Alive?
Yeah. You're in the wrong one.
Okay, well, this is the one that was sent to me. That's what I've got.
That's the one from yesterday, though. There's two up there.
Okay, I didn't see two when I went in.
Probably because I was just adding it in.
Okay. No, I mean, I get it. Do I need to log out?
Yeah, just end the broadcast and just open the new one.
Okay. And let me do that.